Have you ever been in a brand new place, talking to someone you've just met, and suddenly a wave of familiarity washes over you? You get this uncanny feeling that you've lived this exact moment before. The words, the sights, the smells. It's all so familiar, yet you know it can't be. That strange fleeting sensation is called Déjà Vu. It's French for already seen. It's one of the most common and most mysterious experiences of the human mind. So, what exactly is it? A glitch in the Matrix? A glimpse into a past life? Or something else entirely? Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Déjà Vu to uncover what science can tell us about this weird and wonderful phenomenon. First things first, you're not alone. Up to 97% of people report experiencing Déjà Vu at least once in their lifetime. It's most common in people between the ages of 15 and 25, and it tends to happen more frequently when we're tired or stressed. But despite how common it is, scientists are still piecing together exactly what causes it. For a long time, it was incredibly difficult to study. After all, how can you predict when someone is going to have a spontaneous seconds-long experience in a lab? It's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. But thanks to clever experiments in modern brain imaging technology, we're finally starting to get some answers. One of the leading theories is what's called the dual processing theory. Think of your brain as having multiple pathways for processing information and forming memories. Usually these pathways work in perfect sync. You see something, your brain processes it, and you store it as a new memory. Simple enough. But this theory suggests that sometimes there's a tiny delay in one of these pathways. For a split second, one system processes the information a fraction of a millisecond before the other. So when the slightly slower system catches up, it feels like you're retrieving an old memory, even though you're actually experiencing the event for the very first time. It's essentially a momentary brain hiccup, a brief filing error where a new experience gets accidentally stamped as old. Another popular idea revolves around the brain's memory centers, particularly an area called the hippocampus. The hippocampus is like your brain's memory librarian. It helps you form new long-term memories and also helps you recognize familiar places and situations. Some researchers believe déjà vu might happen when the part of your brain responsible for familiarity, the rhinal cortex, gets a little overexcited. It might fire off a familiarity signal by mistake, even when you're in a completely new situation. Your brain's fact-checking system, located in areas like the prefrontal cortex, quickly realizes something is off. It knows you haven't been here before. That internal conflict between the strong feeling of I've been here and the logical knowledge of I've been here, it have been, is what creates that classic, unsettling feeling of déjà vu. Scientists have even managed to create déjà vu-like sensations in a lab setting. One clever method uses virtual reality.
Researchers would create two very similar but distinct virtual scenes, say a junkyard and a garden that share the exact same spatial layout.
Participants would explore one scene first. Later, when they were placed in the second, different-looking scene, many reported a strong sense of déjà vu. Why? Because while the visual details were new, the spatial layout was already familiar to their brains. Their hippocampus recognized the layout, triggering a feeling of familiarity that conflicted with the new visual information. This supports the idea that déjà vu can be triggered by a single familiar element in an otherwise novel environment. It could be a layout, a particular sound, or even just an object that subconsciously reminds you of a forgotten memory. Let's explore that a bit more. This is sometimes called the Gestalt familiarity hypothesis. Imagine you walk into a cafe you've never visited. The layout, the counter on the left, booths by the window is almost identical to a cafe you used to visit in your old hometown. You don't consciously remember the old cafe, but your brain picks up on the familiar spatial arrangement. This subconscious recognition triggers a feeling of familiarity for the entire scene, leading to déjà vu. Your brain is essentially saying, hey, I know this setup. But it can't pinpoint the original memory, so it applies the feeling to your current experience. It's a memory fragment bubbling up to the surface without the full context. Now, what about those more mystical explanations? The idea of past lives is a common one associated with déjà vu. The feeling is so strong, it's easy to wonder if you're not just remembering something from your current life, but from a previous one. While it's a romantic and intriguing idea, there's currently no scientific evidence to support it. Science looks for explanations within the known workings of the brain. The neurological theories we've discussed provide a solid framework for understanding experience without needing to look into the supernatural. Another popular idea, especially in science fiction, is the glitch in the matrix theory that déjà vu is a sign that our reality has been altered. While it makes for a great movie plot, it remains firmly in the realm of fiction. There's also a link between déjà vu and certain medical conditions, particularly temporal lobe epilepsy. In fact, for some people, an intense and prolonged form of déjà vu can be a symptom of a seizure, known as an aura. In these cases, there's abnormal electrical activity in the temporal lobes, the same parts of the brain involved in memory and familiarity. Studying these patients has given researchers invaluable insight into which brain circuits are involved in the déjà vu experience. However, it's crucial to remember that for the vast majority of people, experiencing occasional déjà vu is completely normal and not a sign of any underlying health problem. It's just one of the many quirks of having a complex, amazing brain. So why do we experience it more when we're young? Well, a young brain is a learning machine. It's constantly forming new neural pathways and absorbing new experiences at an incredible rate. It's possible that this high level of neuroplasticity and the sheer volume of new information being processed makes the system more prone to these little hiccups. As we get older, our brains become a bit more settled, and we encounter fewer truly novel situations, so the frequency of déjà vu tends to decrease. Also, a healthy young brain has a very active fact-checking system, which is great at spotting that conflict between familiarity and novelty, making the feeling of déjà vu more pronounced. To recap, that weird feeling of having already seen something is likely a fascinating trick of the mind. It could be a slight delay in your brain's processing speed, a misfiring familiarity signal from your hippocampus, or your brain recognizing a familiar pattern from a forgotten memory. It's not a window into a past life or a glitch in reality, but rather a sign that your brain is healthy and actively trying to make sense of the world. It's your brain's memory checking system working so well that you can actually feel it in action. So, the next time you experience déjà vu, don't be spooked. Just take a moment to appreciate the incredible and sometimes quirky complexity of the human brain. It's a little reminder of the mysterious and wonderful processes happening inside our heads all the time. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the mind. What are your most memorable déjà vu experiences? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And if you enjoyed this video and want to explore more mysteries of the human brain, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.